In progress.
Hello, grade 7 students. You are now ready for your final test. For you to be ready, I want you to watch this video repeatedly here on YouTube, and you can set your translation or language to your language, Thai language, so you can understand better. All right, now we are now in this subject of science for grade 7 students, Matheom 1 in Thailand, but particularly the topic is in this chapter 7 is atmosphere and weather, which is now topic 7.3, thunderstorms and tropical cyclones. Do you know that? What are thunderstorms? Have you seen thunderstorms in your life? Look at the picture. A thunderstorm or T-storm is a storm of weather characterized by the presence of lightning and its attendant thunder. Boom! It is often accompanied by copious rainfall, hail, or on occasion, snowfall, which is known as thunder snow. Do you like it? Now, how is a thunderstorm formed? Here is the formation of a thunderstorm. Look at the picture. Okay. At first, the sun heats up the Earth's surface. The surface heats up the air above it. The warm, moist air rises, forming a cumulus cloud. Now, the cloud continues to grow as long as the warm air continues to rise. Now, look at the picture again. Then the warm air meets the very cold air in the middle level of the atmosphere. When these two masses of air collide, we can hear thunder and see lightning. Okay? Now, look at the picture again, the third picture on the right. Later, the cloud becomes very large. The water droplets in it become large and heavy and start to fall as rain. That's why you get wet. After 30 minutes, the thunderstorm begins to dissipate. The storm dies out as the rain gets lighter and the cloud disappears. Okay? Now, what are amazing facts that we need to understand? Thunderstorms help the atmosphere to release energy. As the huge amount of water vapor condenses, it releases heat energy. As the thunderstorm progresses, the rain will cool the whole process and the energy is gone. You know, in Thailand, thunderstorms are common throughout the year, especially during the southwest monsoon. Mild thunderstorms do not cause much damage and only slightly affect us. We may have to postpone a game or football or seek shelter inside the building, but I like it here in Thailand than in the Philippines. Now, what about severe thunderstorms? However, they are very damaging, not in Thailand, but in the Philippines. Example here, it can cause, or they can cause flash floods, you know. They commonly occur during the thunderstorms. These floods can cause loss of human or animal lives and damage crops and property. In the cities like in Bangkok, motorists may be stranded in traffic jams that last for hours. Letter B. The lightning generated is dangerous too. Lightning may cause loss of lives and property damage. Lightning can also start Fires. That is why there's some fire and burning everywhere. What about this severe storm approaching? Let us see. Winds can easily reach 80 kilometers per hour and even more than that. So, in severe storms, wind velocity is even higher, reaching more than 90 kilometers per hour. Such strong winds are dangerous and can cause a lot of damage. Wow. Thunderstorms may produce hailstones, which can damage property and crops and injure humans and animals. It can kill you if you're outside and hit by hailstorms. What about during a thunderstorm? What should we do? Now, we should avoid being outdoors, okay? Always seek shelters inside buildings, immediately inside your house. Avoid water-based activities such as swimming, fishing, and boating. Just go home right away, all right? Do not use the telephone, computers, or devices connected to modems. Well, today, right, this is 2026, we don't use many modems. We use satellites and cell phones, okay? Now, stay away from transmission lines. Why? There are electricities. Prepare sandbags to prevent flood water from entering and move electrical items to higher grounds if your area is low-lying or prone to flood. Okay? So you will not be electrocuted. I want you to watch this Thunderstorm 101 from National Geographic. Okay, watch.
Off on the horizon, they rumble. Rolling across the land, they darken the skies to then spark fire in the darkness, letting out an unmistakable roar. Thunderstorms are rain showers accompanied by lightning and thunder. While violent, these weather phenomena are common, with about 2,000 occurring at any moment worldwide. There are four major types of thunderstorms: single cell, which are small, weak, and isolated storms; multi-cell, a common type of storm that includes a cluster of thunderstorms; squall line, a collection of storms that can form a line hundreds of miles long; and supercells, the most intense kind of storm capable of producing tornadoes. All thunderstorms form when warm air in the lowest layers of the atmosphere rises. Called an updraft, this air causes water from the Earth's surface to evaporate and carries the moisture upward to form clouds. The clouds then build and grow, sometimes as tall as 10 miles high. The clouds darken as they fill and become heavy with water. Cool, dry air from the upper layers of the atmosphere, known as a downdraft, then pull this moisture downward, causing it to fall as life-sustaining rain. In addition to helping sustain life, thunderstorms also help maintain the planet's balance of energy and electricity. When energy, specifically in the form of heat, causes water to evaporate, the heat is carried upward with the water vapor. As the vapor condenses and forms water droplets, it releases the heat into the higher altitudes of the atmosphere and cools the Earth's surface. Thunderstorms also help regulate the electrical balance between the atmosphere and the planet. As clouds in a thunderstorm develop, excess positive and negative charges form within them. At a certain point, this buildup of opposite charges leads to the transfer of electrons in the form of lightning. This transference of electricity occurs so quickly that it breaks the sound barrier, a phenomenon that produces thunder. While thunderstorms are necessary for maintaining balance in the atmosphere, they can also be hazardous. Lightning strikes create fires. Excessive rainfall can cause flash flooding, and high-speed winds from tornadoes can destroy homes. Meteorologists study weather systems to try to predict the occurrence of thunderstorms and help ensure the safety of countless communities.
Okay, now that you know more about it, you don't have the workbook. That's okay. Now let us learn more about tropical cyclone. What is it? A tropical cyclone is a circular storm that brings heavy rain and strong winds in tropical places. Do you remember in our previous lesson about tropical places? That is in the center where the equator, the sun, just is just shining at the center where the orbit, the Earth during the noontime. It usually forms over warm oceans and often moves onto the land. It happens in warm places like Thailand, the Philippines, right? There are several basic conditions for a tropical cyclone to form. What are they? The sea temperature is above 26 degrees Celsius and the humidity is high. And then it happens near the equator. I told you, it happens near the equator where the sun actually is shining. Okay? Especially there during daytime in the middle of the day, right? That place of the earth is called tropical. And so, what happens? There's a formation of a tropical cyclone. I want you to see. Tropical cyclones form over the warm oceans with temperature above 26 degrees. The warm, moist air rises at a certain height. It condenses to form clouds, and then the cool air rushes to take up the space left by the warm air, forming winds. And what happens? So, a tropical cyclone rotates around the eye. Where is the eye of the cyclone? All right. This cycle causes huge storm clouds to form. These clouds begin to rotate along with the Earth's spin. If there is enough warm water, the storm clouds will grow into a cyclone. Do you understand how this works? Okay. Now, what about amazing facts that we need to know? A tropical cyclone rotates in a counter circular or counterclockwise direction around the eye in the northern hemisphere and in a clockwise direction in the southern hemisphere. Interesting. Why is that? All right. I want you to understand more about the parts of a tropical cyclone. Okay. Here are the main parts of a tropical cyclone are the eye, okay, the eye wall, this one, and we have the rain band. Oh, interesting. The cyclone has this one. So you see the cyclone, it removes like this. I mean, yeah, rotates like this, and it has the eye right here in the center, and then the eye wall and the rain bands. Oh, be careful. It's very strong. The eye is the center of the tropical cyclone. It is the calmest part of the storm. Generally, there is no cloud and the wind is slow here at the center. But, or however, the most dangerous part is the edge of the eye, known as the eye wall. Why is that? The eye wall produces heavy rains and usually the strongest winds. Okay? The rain bands are the curved clouds trailing away from the eye. This part right here. They can produce heavy bursts of rains and winds, sometimes with no wind or rain between the spiral rain bands. Now, look at the effects of tropical cyclone, right? You see damage. Tropical cyclones can bring heavy damages to living things and the environment in their paths. Not only will there be damages to infrastructures, but also loss of lives can occur. Heavy rains cause floods to occur. Sometimes storm surges occur and this worsens the flood. Floods can wash away weak buildings and damage plantations. Heavy rainfall may cause landslides. Mountain rocks washed away by rain will tumble, damaging buildings, causing death and injuries to people and animals and blocking traffic. How do you protect yourself during a tropical cyclones? All right? If the meteorological department issues warning of any approaching tropical cyclones in your area, prepare an emergency kit which should contain some water, food, battery, torches, and first aid kit. Stay inside as much as possible and be alert for evacuation warning. Always stay calm and do not panic, okay? Evacuate when advised to do so, all right? I want you to watch this video of the formation of a tropical cyclone. So this is the science behind cyclones.
There are three basic stages in the life of a tropical cyclone: its origin or source, the mature stage, and the dissipation stage where it dies out. These occur in a continuous process, not as separate and distinct stages. Each stage may occur more than once during the life cycle as the strength of the cyclone rises and falls. It may reach land, weaken, then go back out to sea where it strengthens once more. The formation of a cyclone depends upon the following conditions coinciding: a large, still and warm ocean area with a surface temperature that exceeds 26.5 degrees Celsius over an extended period. This allows a body of warm air to develop above the ocean's surface. Low-altitude winds are also needed to form a tropical cyclone. As air warms over the ocean, it expands, becomes lighter, and rises. Other local winds blow in to replace the air that has risen, then this air is also warmed and rises. The rising air contains huge amounts of moisture evaporated from the ocean's surface. As it rises, it cools, condensing to form huge clouds about 10 kilometers up in the troposphere. More warm air rushes in and rises, drawn by the draft above. The rising drafts of air carry moisture high into the atmosphere, so that these clouds eventually become very thick and heavy. Condensation then releases the latent heat energy stored in the water vapor, providing the cyclone with more power. This creates a self-sustaining heat cycle. Drawn further upwards by the new release of energy, the clouds can grow to 12 to 15 kilometers high. The force created by the Earth's rotation on a tilted axis, the Coriolis effect, causes rising currents of air to spiral around the center of the tropical cyclone. It is at this stage that the cyclone matures and the eye of the storm is created. As the air rises and cools, some of this dense air descends to form the clear, still eye as the cyclone rages around it. The eye wall, where the wind is strongest, behaves like a whirling cylinder. Cyclones rotate clockwise in the southern hemisphere, anti-clockwise in the northern. The lowest air pressure in a tropical cyclone is always found at the center and is typically 950 millibars or less. The average air pressure at the Earth's surface is about 1010 millibars. Tropical cyclones have significantly lower air pressure than the air that surrounds them. The bigger the pressure difference, the stronger the wind force. One of the lowest air pressures ever recorded was 877 millibars for Typhoon Ida, which hit the Philippines in 1958, where winds reached 300 kilometers an hour. Once formed, the cyclone's movement or track follows a pathway away from its source, driven by global wind circulation. As warm ocean waters feed it heat and moisture, the cyclone continues to enlarge.
Okay. Now, you have seen about cyclones? Those are very dangerous. Now, what about the conclusions? A thunderstorm occurs when the weather has high temperature and water vapor moving to a higher level, which is cooler, resulting in condensation of the water vapor in the air. It occurs continually until becoming a large cloud. Lightning, which is a form of electricity, develops inside the clouds. As the lightning heats the air, it causes the air to expand, creating the sound of a thunder. Meanwhile, cool air sinks toward the ground. This movement of air causes heavy winds. Thunderstorms bring heavy rain, strong winds, lightning, and thunder. They can cause harm to life and properties. Tropical cyclone occurs off the ocean with a temperature of at least 26 degrees centigrade and high humidity. Warm water vapor moves up, and cooler air from other areas moves in, forming a cycle of wind. As it goes on, a great cloud system and a strong rotating wind systems are formed. Tropical cyclone causes heavy rain, strong winds, and storm surges. This may cause harm to life and properties. We should always follow the instructions issued by the meteorological department and stay calm. I wanted to check your understanding of the subtopic by doing the test. In here, test yourself 7.3 on page 172. Okay, see you next time.